Taoiseach, at the outset I want to begin by saying that I know and respect the fact that the Cregan Commission of Investigation is underway, and I won't be commenting on the substance of that inquiry. But this week there was a statement issued by the former CEO of IBRC in which he expressed concern about the cost of the ongoing Cregan Commission of Investigation into IBRC, including SiteServe. I have to say I share his concerns about the escalating costs, and indeed when I raised the issue in the House last November I asked the Taoiseach the status of Justice Cregan's request for doubling of the legal fees for those working on the investigation, and I have yet to receive an answer to that request for that information. And I have to be clear from the start that I didn't want to see a costly and lengthy tribunal-type affair. This month marks the 7th-year anniversary of the final report on the Moriarty Tribunal, and we're not really much clearer in terms of an outcome from that, even at this stage. But while I share the concerns expressed in the former IBRC CEO's public statement this week regarding costs, I take serious issue with the other blatantly spurious allegations made in the statement. And let me be clear about my cooperation with the Cregan Commission. From the outset, I've engaged willingly and wholeheartedly with the Commission. I submitted a significant body of research material and signed an affidavit to the Commission accompanying my substantial submission of evidence. And I have liaised back and forth to help clarify issues raised by the Commission where necessary. But I have also been exceptionally clear in my position that I at no point will endanger the different people who came forward to me at various points over the course of my lengthy and thorough research into IBRC by revealing their identities. I gave an undertaking when I engaged with people that they could have confidence in my confidentiality, and I will at all times uphold that undertaking I have made, and I've made this abundantly clear. And that does not constitute non-cooperation, and under no circumstances should my refusal to reveal private sources undermine that evidence that I have presented to the Commission. Taoiseach, I want to ask the following questions. The last time I raised this issue, I asked the Taoiseach to confirm my understanding that the Commission of Inquiry is answerable to the Dáil. The Taoiseach on that occasion said that he would find out. Can you confirm that the Commission is indeed answerable to the Dáil? Will you outline to the Dáil how Justice Cregan's request for a doubling of legal fees has been handled to date? If it was granted, what department will that money come from? Can you confirm how many lawyers are involved in the Commission of Investigation at this point and which firms are representing who? Do you have a figure for the legal bills associated with the Commission up to date? And do you have an agreed date for the completion of the SiteServe module?
Thank you, Deputy Taoiseach.
A lot of detailed questions there, but can I just say that following consultations with the opposition parties by the then Minister for Finance, the Commission of Investigation into IBRC was established in June 2015. Mr Justice Cregan, a judge of the High Court, is the Commission's sole member. In November 2015, the Commission made determinations that banker-client confidentiality and legal professional privilege applied in relation to certain documents supplied to it. The Commission also requested a number of changes to its terms of reference. Views from the opposition parties were sought on the issues arising, and following consultations with them, the Commission of Investigation Act 2016 was enacted by the Oireachtas in July 2016. The Act is a bespoke piece of legislation giving a new legal basis to the Commission's investigations. Following consultations with the opposition parties, the Commission's terms of reference were also amended by the Oireachtas and now provide that the Commission will, in its first module, investigate the SiteServe transaction, which has been identified as a matter of significant priority for Dáil Éireann. The Commission is entirely independent in its work, and I have no information on the status of its investigation to date. Last December, following a request from the Commission and after consultation with opposition parties, the timeframe for the final report extended on the first module of its investigations to the end of December 2018 this year. As of the end of January 2018, the Commission had spent just over €3 million. This figure includes salaries for the Commission staff, legal fees for counsel engaged by the Commission and the Commission's administration requirements. However, it does not include significant third-party legal fees and costs that have been incurred and that will arise for payment in due course. In its fourth interim report, which was laid before the Oireachtas in December 2017, the Commission did not make any estimate of the likely cost of the first module of its investigation. However, during consultations with opposition parties last November, the Department provided a tentative estimate final cost for the Commission of between 20 million and 25 million, based on the current rate of expenditure, the extended time frame for its work, the risk of further delays and the significant third-party legal and other costs that will arise, which I think is a reminder to all of us of the cost to the taxpayer of commissions of this type.
Thank you, Taoiseach. Deputy Murphy.
The reason why I think having things done in real time is so important. Taoiseach, in relation to, does the Commission report to the Dáil? Can you confirm that it reports to the Dáil? I think that's very important. In relation to the legal fees, what response, these are the questions I asked, what response has been given to Justice Cregan in relation to that request? He sought the doubling of the legal fees. And that was last year. So I'd like to know just exactly on those two specific points. Would you respond to those?
Well, first of all, my understanding, Deputy, well, to my knowledge, this is obviously an entirely independent commission. It's not going to be influenced in terms of its content and its conclusions by the Dáil. It'll make its own decisions on the basis of the evidence that they hear. But I assume that once the report is actually finalised, that it will be laid before these houses, and I presume there will be a debate on the back of that, like there is for commission reports in other instances. In relation to legal fees, I'm not aware that the government has agreed to significantly increase the finance that's available for estimated increases in legal costs.
Thank you, Taoiseach. That completes Leaders' questions.